Hey guys, it's Vast here, and today we're going to be talking about essential items for beginners that can and will last you the majority of your playtime in Entropia Universe, and why you should consider getting them. I'm going to be setting this up in several categories: vehicles, rings, and Mind Force capabilities. Our first category we're going to go over is vehicles and space travel. A quad wing interceptor, a Slipner Mark 1, a space thruster, some oil. That just depends on your budget. A vehicle RK5 with some welding wire also depends on your budget. While both a quad and a SLEP can go into space, the quad is double the speed from a SLEP but also uses double the oil. So SLEPs and quads both have their place for different uses, and that's why I recommend the SLEP for planet side moving and a quad for when speed is essential, like flying in space, which is already a bus ride and a half. So you might as well do it as fast and as cheaply as possible. The oil and space thruster is needed to use the vehicle and to go up to space, respectively. And the vehicle RK5 and welding wire is for repairing your vehicle. Every time you fly your vehicle and you fly into buildings or it gets hit by a mob, your structural integrity will go down. And that's inevitable, so being able to repair it is a godsend. But keep in mind, if you really want to go to a planet as fast as possible, you can always hire a warp service, which can cost you anywhere from 10 pet a person to infinity, really. You can also find people who do flat rates and take 8 people over to Arcadia Underground for 20 ped or whatever else, which is always nice. And those are just some space and vehicle suggestions that I have for you, and they will last you forever, but just keep in mind that you don't necessarily have to go to space, but having the capability is very, very worthwhile just to go up and go to another planet if you want to. And that's why I think it's one of the best purchases, and that's why I always recommend at least the slip and oil for your first few months of gameplay, because it will make your life so much easier. And the next thing we're going to go over is rings. There are a lot of different types of rings, and there can be a lot of different combination for your use case, play style, and budget. So there's going to be a lot of different things you can do with rings. I suggest an Aries ring L and a authentic ring L, which is one of the best bang for the buck ring combos in the game. But there's a ton of different rings, and there's a video I made in the top right corner talking specifically about rings and going in depth with them. So if you want to, after this video, check that video out. It will help you. The next essential is Mind Force. Mind Force can be used to do a lot of awesome things in the universe, but you may not know how to get into it. Mind Force capabilities are unlocked by buying a Pain Ink inserter and the Neo Poison Implant 10 from the trade terminal for 15 ped and 21.99 ped respectively. You can sell the inserter back to the trade terminal for 2 ped less than you paid for it, but you'll need to insert the Neo Poison 10 implant into the inserter and then use the inserter on yourself, and it will have a really cool animation, and then you can just sell the inserter back to the terminal for 2 PCs less than you paid for it. So if you paid 15, you'll sell it back for 14.98 pet. So, and you can't really get a Mind Force chips from the trade terminal, so you'll have to go to the auction. So just keep this in mind. But you can get all of these pretty regularly on the auction for a decent price. TP chip 1 and the biggest regeneration chip you can afford and can use efficiently, which means that the skill increase bonus says not anymore on both of them. And if you want to, you can get an unlimited version or a limited version. Limited regen chips are really cheap, so I recommend those. The TP chip is very useful as well for getting out of spots where you get stuck, or you're in a horde of mobs and you and your vehicle is in storage for whatever reason. It'll come in a pinch, and it's really your choice between an unlimited and a limited one because they last quite a while, and upgrading your TP chip really isn't worth it unless you have a use case for it, like TP chip 3s and above, being able to directly TP to your apartment. But the biggest heal chip is just really good for what you can do in tight situations. For example, I use a regeneration chip 4 and a Vivo S10 in combination, and is very good, very useful, and will skill paramedic and bioregenesis at the same time. Other than that, there really isn't anything in the game that I can recommend to a new player that you won't learn along the way. And just remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Just go at your own pace and your budget. So if you can't afford a quad right this month, get it the next month or whatever else. It'll but a Sleipnir with oil, a rings, and a TP chip 1, and even a regen chip 2 or 3 is going to be a lot better than the Vivo S10 you got for free from Gauntlet most of the time. And you can use them together, which will have its use cases. And you may not want to do it just now and only use your Vivo S10, but just keep this in mind. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if I missed anything, don't be afraid to comment what I did wrong or right. And don't forget, you guys are all amazing, and I'll see you guys next time.